Evening, fellow ghouls and specters alike. It's your ghost host with the most, Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5, here to engage in some haunted holiday hijinks by trudging through the catacombs and dusting off the cobwebs as we recount our spooky selection of Halloween classics.
So, light the jack-o'-lantern, suit up, and grab the candy dish as we revive and recount tonight's spooky selection. Curb your enthusiasm. Trick or treat! Ooh, scary social interactions. Ooh. Right, I got to admit, Dragon, this whole running gag of like the actual scary thing about the episode, I feel like that's working a lot better than the maniacal laugh thing did. I'm
Probably.
satisfied with it. All right, so Dragon, we have with us, of course, this is the year that I discovered Curb Your Enthusiasm, the Lin-Manuel Miranda season 9. Fatma, it's a Fatma.
Yeah.
um, and Dragon, I gotta say, I feel like this show is definitely, man, it's an acquired taste, but when you get it, you really get it. I mean, there's like such a rhythm to it. And with that in mind, I feel like this episode, I gotta tell you, it's not the most Halloweeny episode of all time. Like, it's funny, Dragon, because we were talking about Frasier, like, oh, it's just kind of a costume party. There's not a lot of Halloween in it. Dragon, holy crap, Frasier just feels like, it feels like a Charlie Brown, Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown compared to this. I mean, this is like, there's really not a whole lot here, but you know what, Dragon? Thematically, I think it fits. Thematically, you got the whole trick or treat of it all. Of course, Larry David is always very, very famous for having his very picky etiquette that gets torn apart this episode. And overall, there are some really cringy social situations in this episode that I feel like truly is the true terror of the story. So we'll get into all that.
Yeah, I got a whole thing where I kind of, well, what I read into things, where I kind of disseminated the trick and the treat of the episode.
Oh
So,
God. Okay. Okay.
broadly outside the actual trick or treat of the whole thing. But yeah, you've been kind of springing backwards, and you've been kind of all over the place with Curb because you watched that season, which essentially was not penultimate because it's not over yet, but it's like kind of the season 9. We're at 10 now, I think.
Yeah, and
Uh,
then it's not that I didn't like season 4. It's just that I feel like it was a little bit of a. Dragon, honestly, I just feel like it just wasn't as refined as season 9, just because obviously it's like a little bit. Season 9, they have a lot more time to perfect the formula between seasons. I really think that's what it is.
because you got to remember, at a certain point, they literally took years and years off between seasons, so they.
Right, right, yeah. So with that in mind, Dragon, I gotta say, this episode in particular, it did kind of give me some hope for exploring, kind of dabbing my feet in the early seasons. You've warned me against season 1.
Well, in seasons 1 and 2 is when they slow. It's a slow burn for. See, Curb has a
This
formula
impressed me
which.
though. Like I like what I've seen from this in terms of like a season 2 episode.
Yeah, that's the thing. So where Curb is at now, as you said, they perfected. They've kind of gotten to a groove that Larry David can, kind of do Curb like the back of his hand at that. At
Yeah,
that
yeah,
point. He knows, and he has time off, so he does that at his leisure and his comforts. He has a lot of time to just stay and just kind of get like pound like 10 kind of intricate little episodes out wonderfully. And getting to that point, season 1 is pretty much let's just do episodes and just see what sticks to the wall, and none of them quite my favorite. And then season 2, they slowly, and they kind of reference it once in this episode. There's a through line that's developing. It's a light through line, and then we get to an actual through line with seasons 3 onward. And again, the through line develops till we get like a whole Manuel Miranda situation going on. So, I'd say season 3 is where that begins with the restaurant to, the producers to the kidney thing to, as it goes on.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay, so with that in mind, Dragon, I mean, is there anything you need to set up before we just dive into the recap?
I mean, there's a bit when we get to it. I'll explain it, but outside that's pretty. The whole episode's pretty. There's not really any connective tissue outside of the one moment in Jeff's office. So I think we're good.
Gotcha. All right, let's do it. So yeah, we start with with this character, Dragon, this Cobb character.
Yes, Cliff Cobb. So the
Cliff
Davids
Cobb.
are out on a double date with Cheryl's. So Cheryl has a writer friend in the industry because I believe, if I recall, in Curb, the idea is that Cheryl used to be an actress. Again, playing off the fact that Cheryl Hines in real life is an actress. Hence,
And
her
also a
being on
judge
Curb.
of I Can Hear Your Voice.
Yes, true. So the point being, David's are on the double date. Cheryl's a writer friend, Cliff Cobb, who of course is not an actual. There's not an actual Cliff Cobb, just an actor playing Cliff Cobb.
Okay, I love the concept of this guy, though. I gotta
Yeah.
say, Dragon, if this guy's just a one-off character, like you say he is, I feel like they really landed with the concept of this guy. I gotta say, like this was super memorable for me.
They love
for a
doing
number
great
of
one-off
reasons.
characters on Curb. They really
Uh-huh.
do. It's like not all. Sometimes they're like once in a blue moon you'll have a one-off that returns, but really it's usually it's a one-off for the sake of one-off fun.
Gotcha.
And they're
Gotcha.
memorable. They really are.
I'm slowly getting used to the idea of that, Dragon.
It's really fun. Plus, you haven't even get like the Nanny's one of my favorites. Oh my god! No, I ain't talking Fran Drescher. I'm talking the episode called
God.
"The Nanny from Hell." It's a really good one.
One of my favorite ones is still the ficus lady.
Of course, from Better Call Saul, it's Mrs. Strauss.
Yes.
Okay, so hard picturing her outside of that movie.
Dragon, I have to talk to you about a Better Call Saul theory that I heard that's really interesting. But we'll do that off air.
We have golf in this episode. We haven't gotten the hammer.
Right.
So, all right. So Cliff Cobb, he's hyped. Basically, he is a writer, wheelchair-bound writer. That's important, and also actor is actually wheelchair-bound. It's not like a choice or anything.
Mm.
Anyway, so he's hyped about getting sole credit on his on the new movie that's premiering. I believe it's like 38 Below. Yeah, I think it's 38.
Yeah, 38 Below.
So then Larry David, he comes late. He says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I ran late. I had trouble picking out an outfit," which again is some wonderful setup for later through the course of the episode with all outfits. I love the fashion of Larry David throughout this show. It's very simple, but it's always about like a struggle with him buying shirts and like picking them, and it's quite. So anyway, Larry David during the conversation he unintentionally makes some familiar moves.
Yeah, I gotta say, Drake, this is like I don't know how clueless you could be about this sort of thing, buddy. I don't know. I'm not necessarily on Larry's side when it comes to this.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I mean the other guy's kind of reaching on a few of these bits. Okay, I think the point being,
I gotta be honest with you. I think the joke is more excusable than the arm reach.
That's what I'm saying. But the arm reach is a weird one. But everything else, though, I'm kind of the frustrating thing about Curb, and the reason I love it, is I always hate that I identify with Larry David most of the time in the show. It always makes me self-conscious. Like, am I really that neurotic? Really?
Totally.
We all, a part of us always see a little bit of Larry David in ourselves. Just watching it so long as I have, I see it too frequently. It just makes me feel bad. Anyway, so Larry, anyway, so point being, he's made some familiar moves with unintentionally, per Larry's side of the whole thing. He's very unintentionally. He's like he's greeting Cliff's wife, which includes like the arm. Basically, as they're all sitting in this little cushy waiting area, like a couch.
Here's the thing that makes me not on his side about this whole situation, though. That arm lingers.
It does. I mean, yeah, I'm sure Larry's just thinking, well, the arm is there. I'm just going to leave it there. He's not really sweating the social implications. But here's my favorite thing about the episode. One of the great things about Curb. I love, like, looking back on Curb, and it's been a while since I've gone back to the older episodes. Looking back on it and seeing like these telltale moments they just had patented way back when still. the little, like, almost like the Telltale game moments where, like, this character will remember that. You see Cliff
right, totally.
checking it with his eyes. He's like, okay, I see that. Like, we're driving a nail in there for later. Like, we're planting the flag for later. Like, Cliff's gonna remember this.
That's a great way to describe it, Dragon.
Again, Telltale comedy. That's what this is.
Oh my god, can you imagine Telltale doing a Curb game?
I would buy it day one. I love that idea. They'll never do it, but I'll take it.
We should pitch it. We should pitch it, Dragon.
Sure. They just got back from the brink of not existing. Let's start off with Curb. Yeah, let's see how they take to that one. All right. All right. Anyway, so as Cheryl and Cobb are chatting away, which is going to be a big thing during the dinner, starting to chat, and we establish that Larry and Shelley, and this is going to play to Cliff's paranoia later on. Larry and Shelley have this little arrangement where Larry has asked Shelley to custom make a bracelet for her birthday. So he's waiting on it because he wants to get it before her birthday. He wants to get it in time for the birthdays. Therefore, their
birthday.
Yep. All right, so that's going to come back later that they are conspiring with something, but nothing salacious, at least not yet. So we have a very relatable dinner situation here. Well, maybe this thing turns really relatable soon, but we have we have the two chatty Cathys, and then your companion. You basically are like the third wheel in a conversation with the other party of the dinner. Basically within the double date, they're the two of the Cheryl and Cliff are chatting away. Larry and Shelley are kind of the odd men out in the situation, just kind of like along for the ride.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to make small talk, like, hey, what about the napkin? Just getting some napkin small talk. Yeah, you got to kind of cover the leg with the napkin. You got to, right? Anyways, of course, then they're placing the order, Tiki, and why don't you take the reins on the order?
I'd be happy to, Dragon. Let's see. I don't have what the other people ordered, Dragon.
Well, no, that's not important. We want to get to Larry here. So the point is, they place their orders, and Larry places an order.
And he orders the Cobb salad. Now, Dragon, we need to pause this.
Yeah, yes,
we
do.
need to pause this.
Okay, pause.
Dragon, would you like to regale the folks with my experiences with the Cobb salad?
No, it's your story.
All right, fine. I just wanted to see how well you could tell it, but fine, by all means. Okay, so folks, I went to Hollywood Studios, and funny enough, Dragon, I actually made substitutions to my Cobb salad, so this is even more relatable. Hollywood Studios, of course, has a brown derby. Fun fact, Dragon, this is a from the ground up replica of the brown derby with the same recipes and menus and everything. So, like,
awesome.
By all intents and purposes, Dragon, this is the closest you're going to get to the actual brown derby experience.
Is the whole building shaped like a hat, or am I thinking?
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. I love it.
The whole building is shaped like a hat. Yes.
I love it.
Anyways, so I ordered the Cobb salad because it is the most famous thing on the menu, and yes, it was invented at the Brown Derby. I'll have some more notes about the invention when we get there. Trust me, I have some fun facts about that. But Dragon, the funny thing is, I am allergic to eggs, so I always order my Cobb salad, without eggs. So I can relate to Larry in this situation of people picking it apart. Like, you know what? I like 90% of the ingredients on this thing, and I like it. It's like, sue me. You know what I mean? So that's Dragon. Cobb salad. It's one of the things that turned me into a foodie, and I kind of definitely just light bulb, like, ooh, Cobb salad, attention.
All right, so Larry, he orders the Cobb salad. His substitutions are he doesn't want bacon, eggs, and he wants blue cheese on the side. So those are
that I do not approve of, Dragon. That I do not approve of.
Yeah, I don't understand what the crate. Blue cheese just sounds like terrible in every sense of the word to me personally. Just like
No. I'm a big blue cheese fan. Big blue cheese fan.
What offends you? The no bacon offends you, does it?
No. No bacon I don't personally agree with, but he is Jewish, so
sure.
And then the egg I totally get, obviously. But Dragon, I know blue cheese. That's one of the things with Cobb salad that you need. You need that blue cheese.
Well, no, he asked for the blue cheese. They wanted to specify to get the blue cheese.
Yeah, but he said on the side.
Yeah, on the side. Yeah.
But that's the thing with the Cobb salad is that it's all blended together.
Oh, right. Sorry, yeah, I got you now. Okay,
So yeah, blue cheese on the side is I'm like, nah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's for me, I hate. Once I had a dinner where I was sat next to somebody who ordered like blue cheese, and my God, the aroma was terrible. It was just like it was killing me the whole meal. It was like, oh my God, it was kind of encroaching on my meal. It was like, oh, I'm trying to enjoy this. See, I got the Parmesan cheese, they got the blue cheese. It's an offense of cheeses. It's terrible.
No, I'm a big blue cheese burgers, Dragon. That's what I'm about.
I just don't get it. That's just me. Anyway, so this is my favorite detail within the ordering, and this is so perfect. Or it's just saying, but look, if the chef makes a face, if he doesn't like the substitutions, if he makes a face, just come back and let me know.
And of course, Dragon, I feel like there's running jokes in this episode that I've seen like going all the way into season 9. That is probably one of them.
Oh yeah, the whole like Larry David and
the chef makes a face.
I'm just saying the restaurant. Every time Larry David walks into a restaurant, usually chaos is sure to follow. I mean, you haven't even gotten to. There's a whole episode in the 10th season you got to see about that. What I'm saying. And of course, there's he gets a sandwich named after him, which leads a whole bunch of chaos in season 5. There's a thing. All right, so a lot of fun. Larry David restaurants again. So there's always a food. There's always a lunch in Hollywood. There's always a lunch in LA.
Always, unequivocally, yes.
Especially if you're Larry David. Most of your friends are kind of business colleagues. Of course. All right, so Cliff.
Jim, it's lunch.
Yes. Cliff has a problem with this because he claims, get this, that his grandfather, also named Cobb, created the Cobb Salad. Larry David instantly calls BS. Okay, BS.
I did too. Tiki also immediately called BS because Tiki knows the story.
So as Larry David calls BS on this, and basically we learn the famed story here is that his grandfather worked as a chef at the Drake Hotel in Chicago. And the word got out, and therefore, the Cobb salad caught on. And Larry David, he really has a bone to pick with this, and he's really bothered. He's like, "No, I'm just a little jumpy about the premiere." And, it's just like, "Yeah, well, I'll never word it this way with you around again." But Larry's just kind of brushing off. Okay, maybe he's right. I don't know. Thinks it's BS, but All right. So then we have for me, this is my relatable portion of the evening. You have Larry David. He's joking to the. He's joking about how so unengaged their others are in this conversation. Cheryl and Cliff are in the conversation. They could say anything and they're not listening. He's starting to go on. But yeah, my grandfather's name was Harold Bingo, and of course he's just having a little fun story. Of course he's not listening to him at all. Then he basically does a joking proposition to Shelley here.
Hey, we should have sex sometime.
Yep, and she just says, "Yeah, we should." And there's a linger. It's a very telling linger.
There is.
Very telling. Again, clearly Larry's joking here, but of course, we don't know if it lands. And of course, the wonderful paranoia of Kirby. You don't know if it always lands. You don't know.
Right, of course.
So this is going to lead to some trouble later, but put a pin in that. We're going to move on. So we're outside. But the idea is they went to grab some dinner before the movies, and now they're outside the theater. Larry David, oh God! So here's where the shenanigans kick in. So first off, Larry bumps into Donald, Dan Breen. I wonder if it's Patrick Breen's father or something. I don't know. But anyway, so Danny Breen here, who was, he's a producer and he's an actor, bit parts here and there. Anyway, so Donald, the character's name. He suggests they catch up over golf, and then Larry kind of has a very self-conscious look towards Cliff. He says, I don't play golf. Now, we folks here, the Curb fans know, oh, that's BS. Larry David loves golf.
Right, yeah.
Kramer golfs in Seinfeld because Larry David golfs. That's how that goes.
Right.
Larry David says he doesn't play golf anymore, and he says, okay, well, of course he's doing this just not to make the handicapped friend feel sad, make him feel self-conscious, oh man, I can't golf. So basically he's overcompensating for, you really shouldn't feel the need to overcompensate at all. Again, neuroses at work, folks. So that's going to come back. And there's a telltale moment. Cliff's going to remember that. Okay, so then here's where things pick up, folks. Okay, so Larry David, he's whistling because he's a chipper fellow. He's starting to whistle Wagner. Siegfried's Idol, and Cheryl's asking, "Hey, what are you doing? What are you whistling there?" And he gives a little sweet story about Siegfried Idol, where it was a present that Wagner wrote for his wife, Cosima, I believe, And basically, he conducted for her in the morning to her on her birthday, and it was like this lovely little gift that he did. And he continues the whistle tune, and that causes some trouble. So we have a really this really ridiculous, self-righteous Ubermensch guy named Walter.
This guy kind of like had a Hank Azaria vibe about him.
Little bit, yeah. Yeah, just very crotchety. Anyway, so Walter here again, he just hears this whistle, and of course he recognizes it's Wagner. He asks a very just very odd question. Very, very pointed question. Are you Jewish?
Oh, what do you want to check my pants?
Yeah,
okay, more important question. What were you whistling, and what is a Jew doing whistling Wagner?
Yeah. Why wouldn't he lead with the real question versus "Are you?"
Right.
I just love this guy's completely blind to how weird is the wording of his question is right there, just out in the open. Hey, are you Jewish? Anyway, so what are you whistling? Hello, darling. It's Wagner. He's always whistling Wagner. So he demands to know why a Jew is whistling Wagner, Hitler's favorite composer, which is the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard. Like, well, he composed other, just because he was Hitler's favorite doesn't mean, Anyway.
You're a self-loathing Jew! And then this is my most relatable line of the episode, Dragon. Well, I do hate myself, but it has nothing to do with being Jewish.
Which again, I love just how I love sardonic Larry David in all his responses here. Because again, this is an example. I'm entirely on Larry David's side. I don't know about you. I'm absolutely on LD's side here.
Mm.
And of course, then basically Walter here is whining about. He basically is drawing parallels over heavy-handed parallels about they would play this in the concentration camps. Like, I mean, maybe sure, but I mean, come on, it's like years ago, and he's whistling it just casually. I mean, it's like,
yeah, right.
So, and then of course Larry David here with the wonderful comeback. Say, hey, they got a mental asylum a couple blocks away. You should check yourself in. And he says, where is your? He's getting really self-righteous. This is where the guy's just such a prick. Where is your Judaism? Judaism, where are you? I can't find you.
That's great. Which
is great. And then we reveal that Walter is, as he greets he's there for the premiere. He's there because he knows the writer. And the idea is like this. I think the writer is also a neighbor of the day. He's like roughly in the same neighborhood too. So he points out, oh yeah, he's your neighbor. He says, oh, that's great. That's good. That's it. We're setting up the dominoes, kids. All right, so then we go into the premiere. So we're watching the movie, 38 Below.
Yep, and of course we've got a little bit of knee action going on between Larry and Cliff's
Shelley.
Wife.
Yeah, Shelley.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm saying. This is completely innocent, though. I mean, you can't read in every knee thing. That's
yeah, totally,
it's
right.
Insane, but again, we set the Cliff's watching everything. Basically, here's my thing with Larry David too. It kind of happened upon the analogy. If I haven't used it before, it's perfect for a Halloween. If I didn't do it on the Christmas one, I better use it on the Halloween one. So Larry David, in shorthand, is HBO's Charlie Brown. That's kind of the best way you could summarize Larry David, because everything he does is wrong. And it's always you root for him at times, but for the most part, everything he does is wrong. So that's the thing, is Larry David here is like having every paranoid thought you'd ever have watching a movie, and it all happens to him. Every thought, like, am I chewing too loud? Am I bumping the other person? Every fear you've ever had, every paranoid fear.
Oh god, the popcorn thing is like totally real, Dragon. That's so
what
real.
I'm saying. Everything again. It's the Charlie Brown effect on Larry David. So he gets chewed out by Walter for eating popcorn. I can eat popcorn if I want to. He's so childish. Larry David always gets really childish in the movie theaters when he's griping with people. So then he bumps Shelley's leg, and then he yawns. And this is the most ridiculous thing in the episode, where he yawns, and then Shelley's like, "Stop it! Like, I'm tired."
Oh, I am absolutely on his side about this, Dragon. Absolutely.
I'm saying.
And also, I can tell that Larry David falling asleep at important events is probably a running joke in the show, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, all these
It's
moments,
happened at least 3 times, Dragon.
You're right about you're right. I know it's happened the major time you're saying. I'm just trying to think of the other time. You're right. Yeah, it's 3 times.
All right.
All right. So point being, so all this happens, and we kind of pan over the Cliff. Cliff, he's noticing all this.
Cliff will remember this.
Yes, Cliff will remember this.
Is that going to be a new running joke?
Maybe, I don't know. You ever watch Doom Patrol? Yes. Okay, so
Oh,
Cliff, he gets all the congratulations. I gotta admit, this is just showing how Larry David-ish I can be at times here. I gotta be honest. I think Cliff just kind of planting himself kind of near the exit point of the theater. He's getting all the congratulations and the handshakes and everything from the people he invited. I guess a little self-aggrandizing.
yeah, a little bit.
You're really
Yeah,
gonna plant yourself there. You're like, oh yeah, we gotta acknowledge the writer if we know the guy. Like that's the thing. He's not the director of the movies. Not everyone's gonna instantly recognize the guy. I mean, nothing against the writers. I'm just saying you would have to, like, the writers have to know the people that are there. Otherwise, it's not gonna happen.
sure.
All right. So Larry David, he compliments like the a bit from the movie, like the breath bit, like what do you call it, the smoke effect? Like no, it's a breath, it's like cold breath. Because the idea is there's always this runner in Seinfeld. They have these really generic movies that are playing. They made up for the episode, and we kind of do that here, where it's like it's 38 blows, and a guy drops in really cold water and he gets out. So that's all we really know about the movie, based on what Larry's saying. It's like, yeah, when you put that guy in the water, and he's like, yeah, you like that part. So basically, Cliff's very skeptical that Larry is genuine about it because he yawns. Just because he yawns.
It's kind of a mirror of the whole falling asleep at Hamilton thing, because he's just like, oh, I love that bit, Alexander Hamilton. It's like, yeah, that's the first song in the movie, and then he basically is describing the basic plot of 38 Below.
Pretty much. All right, so of course he's questioning the compliment. Meanwhile, Cheryl she talks up that maybe Cliff saying, "Hey, you want to get a drink or something after the movie?" And Cheryl says, Larry's got plans for tomorrow." And Larry's just saying, "I'm just sitting around, just sitting around." Eh? He's just like, "Yeah." Of course, basically, yep, keyword sit. And basically Cheryl later on, because it's a little vague here, and of course we get brought up later, is the fact that Cheryl's wondering, why wouldn't you just tell me you're playing golf tomorrow? Like, why the whole golf charade? So that's what's happening there.
This is why we don't tell white lies, kids.
Yep. Anyway, so then he hugs Shelly, which again now she's really
she's really embracing it, Dragon.
All right, so then we have, and this is where I okay, so. Here's the thing no one ever talks about with Curb, and it always ticks me off no one ever talks about this.
Okay.
Cheryl gets him into half the messes that he's in, and she never takes the responsibility.
Yeah, I can see that.
She always gets off scot-free, and it really bothers me. So anyway, so Larry Dave's brushing his teeth as Cheryl's talking to Wanda Sykes on the phone, because we couldn't afford her for the episode, but we're talking to her. So basically, Cheryl's complaining and gossiping about everything Larry did during the night, including like, oh yeah, I thought the movie was great. Then I turned to see Larry yawning. Like, what? I'm absolutely on Larry David's side. You're like, why?
It's a bodily function.
Like, one, why are you complaining about this? Two, why are you telling your friend about this?
Right.
It's like literally just finding ways to put the man down. Come on. And of course, yeah, I thought it was really rude. And Larry's, oh yeah, sure, it was really rude. Just someone yawning, right? I was thinking he's absolutely right. Like, never mind. And then he won't tell Cliff that he golfs. And again, like, don't tell her that. I'm on Larry's side. I hate when people do that. When they tell things I don't want people to know about them on the phone. Like, don't tell him what I'm doing today. I don't want to know what my goings on have been. Don't stop doing that.
Right.
Anyways, of course, Larry's saying, if I were handicapped, I'd want people to lie to me.
Okay, here's the thing, Joe. I don't really agree with this.
Well, that's fair. Again, he's a little crazy, so by all means. So let's see. And of course, what about the other guy? What, Donald, the mustache guy from earlier?
Uh-huh.
It's like, well, Cliff was there. I didn't want to.
I wouldn't want to play golf with that guy anyways.
I love how petulant he is. I don't want to play golf with that guy. Again, that's fair reasoning. I don't want to play golf with him. How Bill Burr of Larry David. I don't want to play golf with him.
God.
I noticed this weird detail when I was rewatching it. The shirt that he's wearing, like the whole episode, he's got holes in the back of the shirt.
Is it really?
Yeah, I don't know why. All right. So let's see. So it's Halloween. So now it was like, I guess, like the 30th or something. Now it's October 31st. It's Halloween.
Oh my God, Dragon! Egad, we're like 11 minutes into this episode, and we're seeing our first color of orange.
Yes. So we go to Larry David's office.
It's Dragon. Here's the thing. It's like it's not even jack-o'-lanterns. It's just a couple black streamers and a couple deflated orange balloons.
Pretty much.
I feel like that's a metaphor, right? I feel like that's saying something about Larry's festive nature.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Anyways.
So Larry's in his golf attire, so it's kind of a quasi costume. You know, he's going to go golfing later, but also like, hey, more a bit of a costume to the office. Hey. And he's complimented on the tucked-in golf attire, which again, Howard Hamlin's off to the side, giving two major thumbs up, like, yeah.
Oh God.
But seriously, I mean, Howard Hamlin, you know, he rocked that golf attire in Better Call Saul, didn't he? He always looked great when he was wearing the golf stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. So his receptionist, and he has like a rough. I forget how many times he gets a new receptionist in the series. I forget how long this lady. He usually does something to tick him off and they quit or get fired or something. Usually something like that happens. I forget if this is really early on, so this is probably the same one for like another season, I guess. Anyway, so the receptionist tells him he got a call from the reschedule appointment with the doctor, but more importantly, got a call from Shelley. Shelley called, and, and he assumes, oh, the bracelet must be ready. Little does he know. So then Larry gives her a task. Tiki. What's the task? What's the mission?
The mission is to look up some details on the Cobb salad, where it was invented, who invented it, etc.
Yeah, do some Cobb research. No, not the Capra, the other Cobb. All right, so. Okay, so Larry's calling Shelley, and then he basically has to clip her romantic wings here, like explain the joke and everything, which is every comedy writer's worst nightmare. You have to explain the joke to someone who got offended by it or someone who didn't get it. It's like, no, I was joking because they weren't listening to anything we were saying. And this is such a Seinfeld situation. But here's the thing. With Curb, it's Seinfeld with genuine repercussions, like the dominoes that fall over and come back majorly. That's the difference between this and Seinfeld. Seinfeld's it's a gag and go home. It's like gag, but oh no, you said this earlier. It's like, wait, what? You're supposed to forget that?
Yeah, exactly.
What is this? So Larry's in hot water, and it sounds like he says, "What about the bracelet?" And she hangs up. So that's not a good omen for his bracelet gesture. All right, on a brighter note. We have Cobb research. The Cobb results are in, Tiki. The Cobb results.
Right. So, basically they say the true thing, which is that Bob Cobb invented the Cobb salad at the Hollywood Brown Derby.
37.
And here's the thing that they don't include, Dragon, that I think you're going to find pretty cool. He actually was suffering from a bad toothache, and so the reason why all the ingredients in the Cobb salad are so easy to chew and easy to digest is because he was specifically looking for a salad that, that someone could eat, with a toothache and not have to crunch down at all. You know what I mean?
Cool.
So that's why all the ingredients are kind of like very, I don't know the word for it, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're soft foods. That's why they're
yeah. Right.
Why they're chewable. I mean, I don't know if you're looking for it, but yeah, sure, yeah, I get it. Yeah. So, all right. So let's see. So again, point being, Larry's got a win with the Cobb salad. Meanwhile, he's now it's Halloween night. This is where we actually have some. We have like an orange candy bowl, maybe. But the point being is that candy in a bowl, and then Cheryl's making the idea. If you look at it, Cheryl's putting a bunch of candy in bags, and he's giving out the gift bags. I'm pretty sure, full of like a bunch of candy.
Oh wow!
So he's not. I don't even think he's just giving like individual pieces of candy. I think he's like dropping these bags into he's giving the kids a bunch of candy. He's giving these. So I love the idea. Larry David, he gleefully gives candy to trick or treaters, and that's the thing. In real life, they never do it on the show. Larry David does have a daughter in real life, and I'm sure maybe he liked trick or treating. They like the whole ceremony there. Who knows? I'm not sure, but I love the idea. Larry David just boiled down. He loves. It's like the tipping thing around Christmas. He loves giving and having a genuine moment of humanity with people. It's like, I gave them something and they're happy. It's like just the very simple social contract in action. They do a good service, or they're an innocent. You do something nice for them, and you got to thank you. It's how it goes. You say trick or treat, you give them the candy, and
But of course, this is also something that Larry David can just very easily just go off on. It's it's very much a tipping point. There's no real middle ground with it, and that's why I think this is a great scenario for him.
And again, it's yet another reason he loves the holiday. It's very simple, and again, he's making everyone feels happy. He likes seeing the cute kids and the costumes and everything. Feels good. It's a nice. Again, I love just the very simple. This night could go very simply for Larry David, but it doesn't. He just feels good about giving kids candy. How can it go wrong? Of course, he asks, "Hey, Cheryl, you want to do some of these? It's fun." He says, "Yeah, sure." After I do a few more bags fill a few more bags of candy. So then trouble comes a knocking, quite literally. Double
Oh boy.
trouble, one could say.
Okay, Dragon, I gotta say, I feel like if it was just the age thing or just the no costume thing, it would be like, just give him the candy, Larry. Just give him the candy. Dragon, what bothers me, and I feel like Larry maybe should even be like, should underline this a little bit more in his defense. These girls just have shit attitudes, man.
That too, yeah.
That's the thing that really gets under my craw, you know what I mean? That's the thing that really makes me side with him, is the shit attitude.
Well, yet again, this is an example where I side with Larry David. One brief exception within his argument. I don't agree with the age part of it all, but I do. But the fact is, they do not have costumes on. They don't. And it's that.
Honestly, like, I would still be on Cheryl's side of, like, just give them the candy, Larry, if that was all it was. Because it's like, because it's like, all right, it's Halloween, it's a freebie, whatever. But no, it's the shitty attitude too. The shitty attitude just makes it hard to justify.
Yeah, and again, like, this doesn't get highlighted in the episode either, but it's just the fact that, again, they're giving away these little gift bags full of candy, and again, it would be kind of a waste of that if you're giving it, kind of cavalierly to people who don't really like the kick out of it, It's
right,
so you got another reason there in his defense, but we don't cite it because we have to, because Cheryl has to be in the right, as we tend to do. So we have these two girls, very uncostumed, like they're not wearing any costumes, just walking.
I'm dressed like my sister.
See, that's what I'm saying. Even as far as subtle costumes go, unless your sister is with you, that doesn't work.
Well, even if your sister was with you, how would that be like? Because you don't know what the sister usually dresses like.
I mean, maybe feel you showed a wig or something. The point being, you're right. The point is, no one's situation. I'm just saying it's still like that. It shouldn't work. So they casually claim to be 13 and that they're dressed. Hey, I'm dressed as my sister. I'm dressed as a teacher. And we're like, oh, would like to be in your class. Like, yeah, that's not right. You're not a teacher. It's just like, it's ridiculous. Like, no teacher dresses like that. So, so that's the thing. I love that he keeps, he's asking the age. Of course, he gets 13. I love throughout the episode, he keeps going up to ridiculous amounts. I think they're actually like 16, be my guess.
Uh-huh.
But then he goes up in their 20s, which is ridiculous.
Right.
Well, more on that later. So again, I think. So again, less the age, more importantly, I encourage any trick or treat, even if they're in the older generation. But if they give an attempt for the costume, I can respect that. I can go home happy. You know what? You decked out in the costume. You make just any sort of attempt. I can get behind giving them the candy.
Sure.
All right. So Larry David says no, and they call him like, "Hey, well, F you," and of course this just proves Larry David's point with the bad attitude, and also like the fact they're not 13-year-old. What 13-year-olds talk like that?
Well, yeah, when I was 13.
2001.
What?
2001. They're still like, well, never mind.
Yeah, no, I would have 2000. No, it was more like 2003, 2004. Dragon, I'm not that old.
No. I mean, at the time they shot this, it was 2001. So
right. Yeah.
Period, like even then, like we're still moral degradation society, still kicking in at this point. Okay. All right. Okay, well, the point that's the point. This kind of feels like these are girls you do not want to give candy to, and I stand behind Larry David's position, but then again, it's kind of like the terror situation of do we want to avoid the problem? We gotta pay off. Okay, so next we have the smash cut to
Larry,
and we do this a lot where Cheryl's is like Larry. So we reveal the David house. Again, they always have really nice houses. He bought a really nice house with the Seinfeld money in Curb. He hits a couple of houses through the course of Curb, and now we're at I believe this is the first one still. Might be the second. It's all been tricked, and it's been tricked absolutely. It's been TP'd. It's been egged. It's silly string. The place has been vandalized, and Cheryl's chewing him out for not giving him candy.
Oh, I didn't know it was felony or treat.
Which is a good point.
Hey, Dre, I also just want to point out that we're kind of running a little behind schedule here with the with the time and the storage and everything. So,
Dandy.
I want to throw that out there.
Right. Okay. Anyway, so let's see. So Didn't know it's felony treat. What about trick or treating at 40? Which again, I don't approve of his little statement there. Like trick or treating at 40, it's like let's not take that out of the equation. So, can any effort deserves candy, kids? All right. Anyway, then of course. All right, so basically you're cleaning up by yourself. Again, Cheryl, a little stuck up there. Really not even going to help. I mean, it's your house, too. You're just going to let them clean up all stuff. You could have yelled, hey, give them candy. I don't know. You could have tried something.
Right. Yeah. She could have, in the moment, be like, just give them the candy, Larry.
Yep. Didn't do that. I mean, you can clearly hear the argument going on. Didn't lift a finger. Except do this little bag, Cheryl. Anyway, so of course, not everyone knows your rules, Larry. And again, it's a social contract. Everyone knows the rules of trick or treat. Very simple.
That bugged me. The rules thing bugged me. Yeah.
Yeah, because everyone knows the rules. I mean, again, Larry's kind of a little really lean on the age thing, but still, it's it's there. It's assumed. All right, and of course, they walk inside. It says bald spray paint on the door, bald a-hole on the door. Right, so then they enter the LAPD. Basically, they got no luck in finding the girls because one, Larry David's given a description of dark hair, 20 years old.
She's like Elvira.
And of course, she was wearing a costume. No, it's not a costume.
No, that's the general. And it's like, Larry, come on, you could come up with someone other than Elvira if you want the cops to think they're not wearing a costume.
Exactly. I love the interplay with the cops here because all the one cop saying, well, the costumes could have been subtle. It's like, no, wasn't it? It's such a ridiculous conversation. Here's my favorite joke in the whole episode. Okay, I love with the Officer Bird here. Okay, what happens? It's just so they bald a-hole. It's a hate crime. So,
sir, I'm bald. I'm not offended.
And then here's the line. Here's my favorite part. This is my favorite joke. Larry says, "With all due respect, Officer Bird, you are not bald. You chose to shave your hair. In our group, you've chosen to be fashionable. We don't consider you to be part of the bald community. With all due respect, sir." I love how respectful he is. It's such especially where we're at now. It's such a silly yet ridiculous conversation to have with the cops. I love it. It's just great.
Officer Bird just kind of sighs. He's like, you know what? There's no winning this argument.
I know, it's great. It's what I'm saying. It's so funny. All right, so the point being is they explain the whole social contract of it all here, where it's basically Larry's trying to argue the point that trick or treat is a threat. It is a threat. It's a threat. It's an intimidation. Of course, he goes into the big thing of I will not be intimidated. Not on Halloween. Not even on Halloween will I be intimidated. Very firm. I love how ridiculous yet authoritative he is about that. I will not be intimidated. Not even on Halloween, which is such an ironic statement. Of course, all about scares and everything on Halloween. Of course. All right, so we go to Jeff's office. A bunch of smokers outside, which again is very relatable. And I hate it when that happens. It's like the plume of smoke.
Mm-hmm. Very relatable in LA too, especially.
And then, of course, we've seen the ramifications of that. So, he goes in to talk with Jeff. Jeff's asking, hey, why are you dressed for golf? I like the outfit. Looks good on you here. Get many compliments about it. Say, sure, you want to play tomorrow? I can't. It's Cheryl's birthday. And, of course, this leads a really logical conversation. Jeff's just casually asking, why? Is she a baby? She 5 or 6. I mean, you're not going to see her till dinner, right? So you give her the gift, and you won't see her till birthday dinner. This is I guess just come by in the morning.
You know what? You're right. Just come early. You're on. Let's do it. Yeah, I haven't seen the new place anyways.
It's not a religious holiday, That makes me think it's the second house. All right, so I'm keep it brief here. They touch on the season 2 plot thread here, where basically they're going to pitch the show idea they had, which essentially is Curb Your Enthusiasm for a Seinfeld cast member.
Okay, got it.
Which is really clever upon the revisit, because it's basically how they keep getting type. It's like a mockumentary on a Seinfeld cast member. They tried with Jason Alexander last episode of the season, like the second. This is episode 3. Episode 2 was the Jason Alexander thing. And that was a train wreck. What happened? So now they're going to try it with Julia Louis-Dreyfus, which would be the next episode. They're going to basically try the same exact pitch with her.
Gotcha.
And screw it up being the idea. So we kind of set that up. Let's see, after that. Larry leaves and he bumps into the Donald from earlier, who was just seeing Larry David in in a golfing outfit.
Oh, hey, Larry. I just got one thing to ask you. How's the golf, Larry? How's the golf?
No, I wasn't golfing. I just like the look. He says, "Oh, you're sick."
You weren't golf. Oh, sure, Larry. Sure. Yeah. Okay.
No one in their right minds would dress in that outfit unless they were golfing.
No, I'm getting compliments about it.
Oh, you're sick. Stop it. I love that he's half right. He is half right. Now, Larry was lying about it, but again, no, in this case, he's being absolutely truthful with him. I was like, no, I like the outfit, though.
Right.
All right, so Larry goes to Cobb's house. I love the
Oh, God, this is the
stomping
most
on the
off
ramp.
the rails scene in the episode in a good way.
Speaking of rails, I love that he's stomping on the ramp on the way up.
God.
All right, so he's looking for Shelly to get the bracelet, and then we have this it's a creepy yet nice house, isn't it? The lighting questionable choice for the pool, I got to admit. Why is there
the lighting is it is very horror movie-esque, Dragon, especially the way that cliff is lit.
You gotta wonder about the pool, but I don't know if that probably was like an unfortunate aftermath sort of thing. All right, so it says like we have a cliff here, very high and mighty. It says there is no bracelet, Larry. There's no bracelet for you. This is ridiculous.
I love no bracelet for you.
No bracelet for you. I mean, basically, he goes off on about the proposition. You proposition my wife. I'm not blind. You think? No, get it straight. He points down.
Get it straight, Larry. I can't walk. I can see.
So he points at like the knee and the arm and the proposition. Oh god! Again, I just love like just the sanctimonious one-sided argument. Basically, we have the classic in Curb, the sanctimonious one-sided argument, where the other party is not going to listen at all to what Larry has to say. It's not going to listen to the logic here. It's just going to it's just two people yelling at each other, one making a little bit more sense, the other one just ripping into the other guy. So then the conversation kind of stops for a moment there as he brings up the whole wait a minute, you're wearing golf clothes.
You're a liar, Larry. You're a liar. Oh, I'm a liar. I'm a liar, mister. I go around telling everyone that my grandfather invented the Cobb Salad. And of course, that really is like, are you calling my grandfather a liar? Are you calling my grandfather a liar? I'll kill you, you son of a bitch.
Chase. I just love Larry David. There's a runner in the series. He runs from people in wheelchairs a lot. It's really funny.
That's great.
So this is like the second or third time it's happened, or at least, well, the point being, it happens at least like a couple more times. He gets in altercations with wheelchair-bound people. That's hilarious. So, okay, so now presumably he's calling Jeff. Then he stops when he spots Elvira smoking on the patio. This makes me think Elvira! And she's on the phone, she just hangs up, and now she's getting into it with Larry here. And again, this makes me think she's clearly not 13 if she's smoking. But then again, she'd come from a bad house. Well, we saw her father was.
She's definitely not 13, Dragon. Just because 13-year-olds use that language doesn't mean she's 13. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, like, again, could be like a bad behavior sort of thing. I don't know. I'd like to think that Larry was right about the age thing. All right, so then we get into she gets to an argument, which is then interrupted by Mr. Wagner himself, Walter. So this is when the powder keg really goes off here, where he tells the girl's father about what she tricked she tricked the house. Mm-hmm. She denies it, as she tends to do. Of course, this a-hole is going to believe her because he is. He's just like the very sanctimonious.
She said no, she didn't do it.
Because teens don't lie, right? So then he just deflects with, "Oh, I heard about your quote-unquote affair," which didn't happen at all, but still it was like a proposition. It was a proposition before it was anything. You're a liar as a human being! And what does that even mean? What does that mean? You're a disgrace to your people! And the Ray Postman, come here! He sleeps with the wheelchair-bound man's wife.
And then at that point, the Elvira girl just gives a very Nelson Muntz, just like, ha ha!
Oh, a-hole, yeah. Should have given me some candy, eh? So just the whole family of entitled pricks by measure there. Maybe you should give me candy. I want to punch that girl in the face, man. Anyway, so that's the next. So that's the trick. The trick has been all the bad stuff that's happened to Larry David throughout the episode. Now on to the treat.
Yeah, you're right. I like that. I like that analogy.
All right, so now, and again, trick also if you want to go with the whole like.
Because you're right, Dragon. Come to think of it, this is actually one of the few episodes where things, I mean, relatively speaking, go genuinely pretty good for him at the end.
Yeah, this is where the gesture actually started to happen, but like it's like the whole Larry, Joseph, and Mary thing, where again he tried to do the gesture, but then it went sideways, and here he's actually doing the gesture.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Kind of dips a little in the end, but he got away with it though. All right, so it's the next morning, and Cheryl is awakened by an orchestra playing Siegfried Idol, the Wagner song that he whistled to her earlier. And again, the treat of this whole thing, it's a really nice gesture. Wow, Cheryl! It's a really nice, it's a rare, beautiful moment in Curb. And then Jeff enters.
God, what's he doing here?
I love how Jeff. I love how pleasant he's being. By the same time, he just gets really loud, and he's kind of deflating the magic as he gets until he. You know what it takes for me to get a day off? As Larry explains, this is my plan B. Oh, this is real. I love he's just interject. Well, that's really nice. This is really nice, though. And we still go, and he tries to leave, and Cheryl says, "No, you can't leave." Just a real angry white face, like, "No, you can't leave." Jeff's rather insisting loudly. He says, "No, get out of here! Like, can I play 9?" Just motioning with the fingers. What about 6? It's a no-go. Larry can't go golfing. He's just these wonderful gestures, a little sullied by the end there. Then we have the real treat. Again, the trick for the.
This is absolutely the treat. Yeah.
Yet another treat for Larry. Trick on Mr. Wagner. So we get Larry David's revenge. Tiki, what's Larry David's revenge?
He's playing the same song outside of the neighbor's house at night, just like, gleefully with a shit-eating grin on his face, just conducting the orchestra.
Yep, trick revenge, yeah, and that's the episode.
All right, very satisfying. And like I said, one of the few where it's like Charlie Brown got to kick the football for once.
He did. At least he budged it. Maybe it was like deemed like a bad point, but he made it.
And I got to tell you, Dragon, very good time on time management there, buddy.
Yeah.
All right. So, final thoughts. I think this is, you know what, Dragon? I think what you pointed out with the trick and treat of it all. I mean, I almost feel like it's intentional that there's not a lot of Halloween in the actual episode. I feel like that's like maybe a subtle choice on their end. And like I said, I do think there's a couple social situations that are very just cringy, just like, oh, that it's so awkward that it's scary. But overall, just honestly, Dragon, it's just a good argument for early Curb. I really do. This episode impressed me for how early it was.
Well, I'm glad you liked it as much as you did.
Yeah,
I was a little worried. I'm always worried about your experiences with Curb seasons 1 and 2. So this is good. This is good to hear. Uh-huh. So, again, for me, not one of my go-tos because again, season 2 not exactly a go-to season, but again, rewatching, I forgot we had that really satisfying ending with him screwing over because I was afraid it was going to have a bit where it was like, and then the cops come to arrest Larry at the end. Thankfully, that didn't happen because I like seeing Larry get the win once in a while after all he went through. Again, HBO's Charlie Brown getting the win. It's quite nice. Again, not as Christmassy, not as holiday reliant as the other one, but it's a Curb Halloween. It's not going to be like all the trimmings. It's in the spirit of Curb. We have the building blocks of the structural payoff that Curb really runs with as it goes on. And again, Larry David adaptable to all situations within a holiday. We get to see Larry David enjoying giving the candy out, and then he pays for it because he tends to do that. All right.
Okay. You know what, Draken? I don't trust myself. I need to look up I've got the intro down. I just don't trust myself with the outro. I'm sorry.
This is why it's called lines. Tiki, go on.
Dragon will remember this. All right. Wait, no, oh my god. Oh, Jesus Christ. Wow, Dragon, do a plug or something, for God's sakes.
All right, folks, so let me tell you about some other people who love Curb Your Enthusiasm. The folks on Just Giggle It. They love comedy, they know comedy, and they do stuff that's very much in the vein of Curb and the stuff we're doing. And if you like talking about kind of some good comedy here, we do it usually on the Just Giggle It grab bag. Once we get more sketches, we'll be back on track with that. And coming soon, we have a Halloween debates on a Disney Halloween debates on Disney debates. coming up this week. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh my god.
Would you like me to do it?
This is so... Dragon, I accidentally deleted the conversation. I'm so sorry. Yes, please do it, please.
Alright, folks, that's the end of tonight's spooky selection. And our spirits grow weary, but they'll be stronger than ever next time as we engage in even more haunted holiday hijinks.
Cliff will remember this.
That he will.